the chocolate factory. We've got our chocolate fountain fired up, but I'm going to turn that off for now so that you can hear me talking. It's a little bit loud. So today we're going to make 6 different types of chocolates for our box of chocolates for Valentine's Day, and they're all going to feature chocolate. We have white chocolate, chocolate chips, and dark chocolate. And we're not going to be turning on the oven or anything. All we need today is some ingredients and our microwave. We don't even need a chocolate fountain, that's just for fun. Okay, so let's get started. First recipe we're going to make is the double chocolate cookie bonbons. All we need is something to make cookie crumbles out of. So we can use whole cookies like this. We can use Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs cereal. We can use Cocoa Pebbles cereal. Any kind of thing that we can make a tasty crumble out of. And we're just gonna throw that in and chop it up really fine. So let's go with the cookies. Put those in there. Ready? A little faster. So there we have our crumble, and that's going to be the base of our bonbon today. So we're going to take our softened cream cheese and put that in a bowl. And then we're going to add our cookie crumbles, about 1 cup. And then I have an electric mixer. You could do it by hand, but this is kind of just a shortcut to mix them. Just on very low so it doesn't spatter everywhere. Just get the cream cheese coated with all the cookie crumbles in there. Okay, so after we get it all mixed up in the bowl, we're gonna take a spoonful. You can make smaller ones or bigger ones. Just roll them in your hand. And then we're gonna set them on a plate with some wax paper. So about that size. This is gonna make about a dozen of the bonbons, give or take, depending on what size you make them. And after we get them all rolled, we're gonna put them in the refrigerator to get cold and firm, and then we'll dip them in the chocolate fountain and decorate them. Now, if you don't have a chocolate fountain, which usually I don't either, I just did that for a fun effect to have it flowing, but usually you could just put your chocolate chips in the microwave. Just do it for about a minute and then stir it, and then 30-second increments so you don't burn the chocolate or scorch the edges, and just stir it up. And then if it needs a little bit more, do it for about 20 seconds and just keep checking and stirring it, and then until it's all melted together. So that's about all we're gonna use today is the microwave. Mine, I think, made 15. It kind of depends on what size, but we're gonna put those in either the refrigerator, or to quickly get them hardened, we'll put them in the freezer for a bit. And then we're going to let them get cold and firm before we dip them in the chocolate fountain. Our next candy that we're gonna make for our box of chocolates is a white chocolate almond bark candy. And that's made with white chocolate. I bought the white chocolate melting discs, but you can buy white chocolate chips or baking chocolate. Is white chocolate chocolate? It's debatable, but what white chocolate is made out of the cocoa butter from the cacao bean. So it's 1/3 cocoa butter. So when you squeeze out the fat out of the cocoa bean, that's what this is made out of, the cocoa butter. 1/3 cocoa butter, 1/3 milk, and 1/3 sugar. That's what this ingredients are. So it is kind of chocolate, I would have to say, but we'll have to research that more. Anyway, so what we need is, this one's not in the fountain, so we're gonna put this in the microwave. And like I said, it's 30-second increments at a time. We might put a little bit more. So we're gonna mold these into our chocolate mold. And if you don't have a chocolate mold, you can get these for a few dollars at Walmart or a baking store. But you could also put these in an ice cube tray or you know, something just to hold the shape. You could use different various things. But I have this is a silicone tray. Let's put these in the microwave. When it comes from the microwave, it might be a little clumpy, but if you stir it in, the residual heat will melt the rest of it, and that's exactly how you want it. You don't want it overdone or burnt or anything like that, but then just stir it in and it will be smooth. There's a few clumps still. Just keep stirring, stirring, and it will be perfect. So we're gonna put this, should be just like, ooh, nice and smooth. We're gonna set it in our molds. So I've chosen the round ones is gonna be white chocolate. So I think I have a little heart shaped for the occasion, little spoon here. And we'll put it right into the mold like that. Now since these are almond, macadamia nut, white chocolate bark, we're gonna put just one almond right in the center. When it gets like this, we want to kind of get any bubbles out. Make sure we can move if we see that sticking out, we can put it in there. And then just make sure that it's nice and even, because when it gets hardened in the refrigerator, then it's gonna pop out exactly how you put it in. So we've got our white chocolate almond bark bonbons in the molds right now. We're gonna add the dark chocolate in the square molds. And what we're making is a sour cherry and nut peanut cluster dark chocolate bonbon. So this is our dried sour cherries. We're gonna need about a half cup of these roughly chopped up. So let's do that, we'll chop them up. Just get them in there and chop them up with a knife roughly a little bit. This probably is best done by hand versus a chopper, because we don't want them really tiny and they're pretty sticky to go in the chopper, but we just want them a little bit so that they'll fit in the chocolate, in the dark chocolate. And then we're gonna put those kind of sticky. We're gonna put those in there. And then we're gonna get some whole mixed nuts. And we're gonna kind of chop those up too like this. So if you don't like sour cherries or tart cherries, like these are dried tart cherries, you could use any kind of dried fruit. You can use craisins, which are dried up cranberries. You could use mango, I guess, if you like mango dried up. You could use raisins. That's kind of like sometimes when you have salted chocolate or different, so that it has different tones to it, and you can taste the sour with the sweet with the salty. So that's why there's the nuts for the salt, the cherries are the tart, and then the dark chocolate's gonna be our little sweetness in there. So now we're gonna add the chocolate from the chocolate fountain into our nuts and our cherry mixture so that we can make a good cluster. So you wanna coat all the ingredients, all the nuts and cherries, coat them in the chocolate, and then we're gonna kind of, these honestly, you could drop them onto a cookie sheet and make them in a cluster, but this time we're gonna just put them into our little molds over here. Now we have our mold filled with our cherry dark chocolate and also our white macadamia bonbons. Those are ready to go, so we're gonna put those into the refrigerator to let those get hard. For our next candy, we're gonna do my favorite and maybe yours, the peanut butter cup. What I did, I got some of these little foil, tiny foil cup holders, And we're gonna fill these with chocolate from the fountain so that all the outside has dark chocolate. And then we're gonna fill that with the peanut butter filling and then top it off with some more chocolate so it's like a peanut butter cup. And so we'll fill those with our chocolate. In the meantime, before we do that, we're gonna get our peanut butter. So this is half cup of creamy peanut butter. You could use almond butter, you could use crunchy, chunky peanut butter, whatever kind you like, you could use. So we have half a cup of peanut butter, and then we do half a cup of chocolate. We're gonna start off with a little bit less than half a cup and put it in there. We don't want it too runny, we want it still thick, so it's better to start with less and add more if we need it. I'm going to turn the fountain on standby. Again, I'm going to use the mixer. You could do it by hand if you want to. If it makes little ridges like that, it's pretty good texture. If it's too thin, you can add more peanut butter. If it's too thick, add more chocolate and make it just right how you want it. That's about good because when we put it in the refrigerator, it's gonna set just like the chocolate and it will harden a bit. So that's pretty good for our filling. And then we're going to, this takes a few steps because we have to fill the chocolate foil in here, and then we have to let that get hardened before we put the peanut butter filling in there. So it's a few steps in the fridge. We have white chocolate too, so if you want a white peanut butter cup, white chocolate peanut butter cup, we can melt those in the microwave like we did before, 30-second increments at a time, stirring in between. And then we can do the same thing that we did with the dark chocolate with the white chocolate. If your chocolate gets too thick, sometimes it needs just a drop of oil. So you can put just a drop of oil right in the chocolate and stir it in. If it gets too thick and it's not real smooth and silky like melted chocolate should be, you can do that and that will help. Okay, usually white chocolate, it's 1/3 cocoa butter, so it should be good right in the microwave. So then we're gonna line the cups, just dropping some in there, swirling it around to cover all the outside. Use a spoon to kind of press it down like this. Get it all covered. Set it on our sheet to get hardened. And then we'll have both white chocolate peanut butter cups and regular chocolate peanut butter cups. Okay, so there we have half of the milk chocolate, half of the white chocolate, and we have just the outside coating of the inside of the cup. So then we're gonna put these in the refrigerator and let those get hardened. And we're gonna take out the molds of our previous chocolates that we put in the silicone molds. These are the almond bark candies and the dark chocolate clusters. And we can pop those out and see how they turned out. So we're just gonna turn them upside down and kind of come out of their molds. Hopefully. So that's how that looks. Kind of cool. Let's see how the dark one looks. Got a little design on it. Now say that we want some decorations, some little sprinkles or something on the outside of this. What's cool is we have a little bit of melted chocolate. So that could be our sticking agent if we want to put some Valentine's sprinkles on there. You can just get a little brush, little basting brush like this, and kind of dip it in like a paintbrush. We'll just put a little bit on top, and that will help our sprinkles stick right where we put it. What might be cool is to put some almond slivers on there. Since there's that one almond right in the center, if you remember. That will make it almond tasting, huh? These dark chocolate ones kind of look rocky road unless you want them this way with the design on them. But these ones honestly kind of come out kind of chunky. So we can also get our little paintbrush, our little basting brush with the white chocolate, and just go like that, make little white chocolate stripes, which kind of decorates them kind of neat too, just to make everything look a little different. Pretty cool. Our next candy that we're going to make for our box of chocolates is one I debated because it's a little bit harder than the ones we've tried, but it's totally worth it because who doesn't like chocolate chip cookie dough? This one's actually a chocolate chip cookie dough bonbon. So how it starts out is with butter. We take 3 tablespoons of butter, which I have here. Unsalted butter is best. I softened it by leaving it out for a while. 3 tablespoons, it's about 3 slices about that big, I would say. That's what's cool with like cooking candy versus baking. If we were baking, you have to be very precise, and you can't be too creative. But with making candy, and we're not really using any heat sources, we can use our imagination. We don't have to use measuring spoons that often. So that's about 3 tablespoons of butter. Then we're gonna get 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I do have a measuring spoon for the brown sugar, but there's 1, almost 2, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then I have some organic cane sugar here. You can use regular sugar or probably any kind of sugar except for powdered sugar. This kind's a little more chunky than regular sugar. So we're gonna put 3 tablespoons of that. So we have 3, 3, and 3. 3 tablespoons butter, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of regular sugar. And then we're just gonna put like a little bit, almost like a pinch of a little bit of salt in there. We're gonna put this in the microwave until it all melts, okay? Okay, so after we've stirred in all of our microwave sugars, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of flour, just regular white flour, right in there. And we're gonna integrate that into the sugar mixture until it's all moist. Integrated. It's going to be kind of thick and chunky, just like good chocolate chip cookie dough is supposed to be, right? So after that's all mixed in there and all the flour is no longer, it's all integrated into the mixture, we're going to chill this in the refrigerator for about an hour. We're gonna cover this with saran wrap. Make sure that you chill this for at least an hour, because if you don't, when we mix in the chocolate chips and make the candy out of it, it will actually melt. So we want it nice and chilled for at least an hour in the refrigerator. All right, so now we have our peanut butter cups from earlier with our white chocolate and dark chocolate. We've made the outer shells of the peanut butter cup. Now we want to fill the middle part with the peanut butter and dark chocolate that we made earlier. You don't want to fill them all the way to the top because we're going to put the chocolate shell over the top as well, so it's a true peanut butter cup. So just fill it almost to the top, but not quite. Leave enough room for the top peanut butter, or I'm sorry, the top chocolate. If you have a piping bag or something, you could pipe these right into the shells. That would make it a little bit more easy. Or you could just spoon it like I'm doing. We've got our white chocolate and our dark chocolate, and we're gonna put the tops on our peanut butter cups. So we're gonna use the white chocolate with the white chocolate shell. And just spoon it on the top. All the crevices in there so it looks like a nice shell top. I had an idea to make it a coffee flavored. Sometimes coffee is good with chocolate, and I have some of this instant French roast. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of coffee, not too much, just a tiny bit on the end of my spoon. I'm just gonna sprinkle it from way up high so we don't get too much. And go a little bit of chocolate or coffee on those. Instant coffee, just to add another dimension of flavor to the chocolate. We'll just do it for those three. Okay. So that's a way you can put whatever kind of creative things, say if you're making them for your parents and they like chocolate, if they like some, crumpled up saltines, who knows? You can use your imagination. Whatever you want to put on top, you can do that, right? After our chocolate chip cookie dough has been in the refrigerator chilling, after that's ready in about an hour, we're gonna add some chocolate chips to it. You can add the mini chocolate chips, you can add the regular milk chocolate chips, you could add, any kind of chocolate chips. You could add peppermint or butterscotch. But truly, chocolate chip cookie dough usually has just regular chocolate chips. And we'll kind of mix those in. We don't want to smash them because we want them to be whole. So then after that, you just grab some of the dough, and you're gonna roll it into a bonbon. Kind of like what we did at the beginning with our cookie crumble dough. So you roll that in a chocolate chip cookie dough ball, and we put it on a tray so that we can put that in the fridge for a while, and then we're gonna dip it in our chocolate fountain. Those make about 9 to 12 balls, depending on how big you make them. And then we're gonna put these in the freezer for about half an hour or so till they get good and chilled, and then we're gonna dip them in chocolate. Okay, well, I'm so glad that you joined me today here making chocolates from my kitchen, and I hope you get a chance to try out some of the chocolate recipes we did today. There's a whole bunch of books at the library, and I got all the recipes that we did today in the Pine Bluffs Library. This book's called The Sweet Book of Candy Making and Candy Making Basics, which all of our recipes came out today. So if you get a chance and want to try some other ones, check them out. I'll see you at the library. Happy Valentine's Day.